Yo, buddy, it's here, and welcome to my review of the SH Figuarts Momo Ayase from Dandadan. Yes, our first figure in the new Dandadan line from SH Figuarts, and I hope you all had a beautiful Christmas, by the way, which was yesterday. I actually did. It was actually a pretty darn good one, and I hope you all had a wonderful one as well and got lots of figures that you were hoping to get, lots of cool stuff. I did get some pretty darn cool stuff, but yes, let's talk about Momo here, our very first figure in the new Dandadan line. And before we get into this, DK, did you watch the show? Did you like the show and all that? Yes, I watched it. I very much liked it. It was super fun. The thing I wanted the most out of this show was for it to be unique. I really wanted it to be a fresher, new shonen that's had more to say than just, fights and whatnot. And I'll be honest, I was a little bit disappointed because I did think it was a little bit more shonen-y than I was expecting it to be. I was expecting it to be wholly unique. It was still quite shonen-y, but especially by the end, it did feel pretty darn unique, especially a couple of the fights in the middle. They got pretty crazy. The fights in this did get pretty crazy. Kind of gave some Chainsaw Man flashbacks, which makes sense because the author of this was an assistant to Tatsuki Fujimoto while he was writing Chainsaw Man, so does make sense. It was a cool show. Very, very good. If you haven't watched it, do check it out. I will say there was a couple scenes in this show that would make me hesitate to recommend it to people, but it was still an awesome show, so definitely recommend it. And I bought this figure. I was really excited about this figure because she's my favorite character in the show. Love her to death. She is amazing. I was really, really excited about her. I was happy that she was the first figure that was coming out in the line, but I was really excited for her that I did check out a couple reviews while she was on the way to me, and I was actually kind of disappointed with her. I thought she wasn't going to turn out very good, but then I got her in hand. I decided to open her up, and I'm actually having a lot of fun with her, but I definitely do have my fair share of complaints with this figure, but I'm having a lot more fun with her than I was expecting. So without further ado, let's jump into the review and start off by taking a look at the packaging right here. And up front, we have an awesome picture of the figure of Momo right there, Rocket Engine Valve. We have Shop Pro 40, Tamashii Nation's Bandai, Tamashii Nation's Seal Proof right there. We have the Dandadan logo, SH Figuarts Momo. Here's the kanji for Momo. If you ever wanted it, it looks like two E's right there. On the side, we have another Momo right there in weird, like Dandadan. Dandadan's weird, by the way. I should have said that right up front. Dandadan's a fucking weird ass show, dude. On the side, you have an awesome picture of her right there. Then you have Momo on the top. You have SH Figuarts Momo. You have another picture of her right there. And then, yes, blah, blah, blah. And then on the back, we have a bunch of product shots showing you everything she comes with, which is not a lot. We're going to talk about that in the review, so let's get into it. And here we have Miss Momo Ayase out of the packaging, and she looks really good. You can see it is her typical outfit right here, the nice pink shirt right here. Let's just get into the sculpting and start off with the head, which I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of this default face right here. This default face is just very emotionless to me, and if you've watched the show, she's a very, very, very expressive character. She's loud, kind of obnoxious at times, very, very fun character, and this face just feels kind of lifeless to me, honestly. Every other face that she comes with, I think is really, really good and captures her very bright and cheery attitude. This one, not a big fan of it, and that is going to be one of the problems I'm going to get into pretty hard on this figure is the face sculpts and the lack of expressions that she has right there, but we'll get to that when we get to it. Getting over the details right here, you do have the hair sculpt right there, super unique and distinct for this character. I really, really like it. I've never seen this before. You have like the only this side covering and then the little spikes coming up. Really, really like it. You have her alien earrings right there, which I'm pretty sure was not in season 1. Maybe this is something she gets later on in the show, because in season 1 they were just like turquoise earrings, so maybe this is something that she gets at some point in the manga, so she'll get them in the anime at some point as well, because originally in the show she didn't believe in aliens, and then all what happened, watch the show. The eyes are done very, very nicely right there. The hair is pretty nicely done. I think there might be a little bit of shading right there. I think there is a little bit of color breakup between the hair right there. Does look quite good. And you can see the nice little dot of paint right there for the ear for the earring as well, which is really, really nice. Yeah, I think the head sculpt looks really good aside from the face. Moving down to the shirt right there, I really, really like it. The red bow is very, very nicely done. Looks really, really, really good right there. You can see the wrinkles and whatnot. Looks really, really nice. The little button right there for her shirt, nicely done right there. And then the pink shirt right there, pretty darn good. Because of how bright pink it is, the joints do kind of pop out a little bit more than you'd probably want them to, but it's still fine, and they do move pretty darn well. Most of the articulation from this point up is pretty good. It's from this this point down where the articulation gets a little bit meh. And then moving down to the skirt piece right there, you know, looks pretty darn good. She is kind of a basic looking schoolgirl, but I do think that she does have a pretty distinct hairstyle right here going on as well. And her hands out of the packaging, she actually doesn't have just straight up fists. These are these nice expressive hands right there, which are kind of allowing you to get these kind of poses where she's like pulling her hair back like that, something like that. That's the kind of thing you're going for right there. So pretty darn cool. I do like that, but you do get fists on as in interchangeable hands, so that's nice. And then the legs are basic, and then she has her little socks right there and her little shoes right there. So yeah, obviously there's not really a ton going on with the character design itself, especially not on the same level as Okaran, which is our other figure that we'll be getting in the line. They have not revealed anybody else, and I really hope they made Granny Seiko, because Granny Seiko was super cool. And I actually did like Ira and Gigi quite a lot as well by the end, so it'd be pretty cool if we got them as well. Show is pretty damn popular right now, so I think there's a good chance that we could get it with season 2 on the horizon as well. But yeah, I think she looks really darn good. Again, the alien earrings, I do like them. They're very distinct, so I think it was good that they went with those to make her to give her a little bit more uniqueness to this outfit right there. So yeah, I do approve of that, even though I don't think it's accurate to at least the first season to what we saw. Alright, now for articulation, and this is where we're going to start kind of getting into the problems with this figure, but the head sculpt right here, because of the hair sculpt as well, obviously going to get a good bit in the way right there, but she can get a good amount of up right there, she can get a good amount of down. There is a ball joint at the base of the neck, I believe. Yes, you can get a little bit of movement right there, but it's not too much. You can see it does kind of just spring back up right there, so maybe it's not even on a ball joint. I think it is, it's just not very useful at all because of how kind of, like, this is very, very stiff plastic right here at the collar. The whole shirt is very stiff plastic. Like, it does not feel like your typical shirt from like a typical SH Figuarts. It's a lot like harder right there, but that could be a good thing. We'll talk about that in a second. But that neck right there doesn't really get any movement right there. So she can get that much up, she can get that much down right there. Not a lot. You can use that ball joint right there to get a good amount right there. And then you have some tilt side to side as well. Again, not too much articulation in the head right there. Moving down to the torso, let's start off with the arms. So the arms are actually pretty good because she does have some decent engineering right here in the arms. They only go up that much, but they do actually have some pretty good butterfly, allowing you to get a good amount of forward movement right there, which is nice and does allow for some good posability right there. I actually have been having a lot of fun posing this figure, which I wasn't expecting to. And obviously with this arm design, if this isn't enough for you, you can just turn it around right here. There you go. You gotta work with that cap right there, because that cap's gonna be your enemy while you're doing that. But you can see that does allow you to get some extra upward movement right there. But honestly, probably not necessary. Moving down to here, of course, you do have your swivel right here at the arm, and you have a pretty nice elbow joint right there. I think that this is a very, very acceptable range right there, and like I said, I've had a lot of fun posing this figure. She can actually get some really good posability with the arms. The posability from this section up, like I said, is pretty good. It's this section down where we get problems. So the torso is totally solid. She gets almost no crunch right there. There's a small ball joint right there at the waist section right there, so that can get a little bit more right there. Not too bad, but this is all coming from the legs right here, and that's not that useful when you want to get her in action poses. That's not useful. And if you didn't know, this character is very, very action oriented, which is another reason why I don't really like this default face very much. This character is action oriented. She's not just a schoolgirl. She has got some powers going on. If you have seen the show, then you know she gets down and dirty, she fights. So it does make me kind of sad that you can't really get her in some really good action poses. And on that note, moving down to the legs right here, there's not really a ton of posability going on to the legs here, and the legs are on a ball joint. Now, they feel pretty darn good. They don't feel like super duper loose or anything. You can see there is a little bit of wobbliness at the torso right there, but honestly, that looks like a lot bigger of a deal on camera than it actually is in person. I don't even think I noticed that until I recorded this review right there. But yes, the legs are on a ball joint, and this section is pliable, so she can get a little bit of up right there, but nowhere near as much as you would want her to. She's not going to be able to get those kick poses, and especially when you factor in the torso movement right there, yeah, she just really can't get very much like kicking going on right there. Compare this to Kikaru right here from the Kaiju number 8 line right there. Yeah, it's not great, especially since this character does use her legs quite a bit to do some damage. She does kick quite a bit in the show, so it does make me pretty sad that this is the only amount of movement we get. I did want to say as well that Figma is also tackling this character, and their Okarun that they have already revealed looks really, really good, and I'm actually kind of interested in picking that up because I think it looks better than the SH Figuarts. So Maybe Figma can do this character a little bit better, but we'll save that for the end of the video for the final thoughts right there. But yeah, and you can see bringing the legs up right there is also causing some like stress marks right there. Those are probably not stress marks. That's probably not the word for it, but you can see it is putting some weird like marks right there on the dress right there. So yeah, that's just, yeah, I don't know. This figure feels like it was made by like the B team or something. Like maybe like SHF didn't really have that much hope in this line. Like maybe they were just throwing these out to capitalize off the popularness of the show, weren't expecting the show to get like super duper popular and all that. So I don't know, hopefully they'll try a little bit harder with the future ones, and hopefully Figma can do this character a little bit better. But like I said, I still like this figure a good bit. But yeah, that leg posability, really not great. Now she does have some good knee posability right there. Also, I will say the design of the legs right here, the top of the legs right there can get disjointed right there, and then you can't get it back in. You have to like bring that out and get it in the little sculpt section right there. See right there? So it comes out like that, goes over it right there. You need to make sure you get that in there just like that. The Figma Megami had a similar problem to that. For the knees though, the knees can get a really good amount of movement right there. Obviously, she can't kick her own ass, but she can get pretty much all the movement that you would absolutely need. Yeah, that is pretty darn good. Unfortunately, again, just can't get that leg up. Now, I will show you this. If you use the ball joint, you can bring the leg up a little bit more because you can rotate it up and then bring the foot up like that. So you can get that much at most for the kicks, but it's still really not good enough right there to really get those good kicks. It looks too stiff in the torso, in my opinion. And another thing I don't like is that she does not have a cut right here at the leg. So if you want to bring her legs out, want to rotate her legs out, all you're using is that ball joint at the top right there. So that's all you can get, as opposed to someone like Nami here, who has this cut right here at that section right there, so she can get plenty of rotation there. Or once again, Kikudu right here with the typical SH Figuarts engineering, where they have a ball joint right there at that thigh section. So yeah, yet more evidence that it kind of feels like this figure was maybe handled by the B team right there. But finishing up the articulation segment, you can see there is a nice cutout right there in that leg section, so she can get a good amount of up on the feet, a really good amount of down. Look at that. That's actually pretty good. I didn't notice that until right now. You have a little bit of ankle pivot right there, although those sock pieces do get in the way, but that's pretty much all the movement that you really need, honestly. And then you have a nice toe joint right there as well. So yeah, the articulation is where we start getting into the problems here. The plastic just feels kind of weird, and I will say it does feel pretty high quality. Like, I obviously always go on about plastic quality. If I bring in Nami right here and Momo in this hand, Momo feels a good bit heavier than Nami. The plastic feels a lot heavier, a lot higher quality, but at the same time, you also have stuff like that jiggly torso right there, which is not great, although that seems to have kind of fixed itself a little bit right there. It doesn't really seem like jiggly anymore. I don't know, man. This figure's just kind of weird, which is not something you really expect from SH Figuarts. SH Figuarts, you usually just get a pretty straightforward, solid action figure. With this, though, there's some weirdness going on. But I don't know, though, because, like, holding her and looking at her, like, she looks good and she feels good. Her plastic feels good, which is what I like in action figures. I like my action figures to feel nice, high quality, and look really good, and she does. She looks and feels really good. I don't know, I'm just kind of confused by this. But let's jump into some comparisons. And let's start off with some fellow shonen ladies. Here she is, of course, with Sakura Haruno, another pink battle shonen lady. And you can see even the scale looks a little bit off here. She's like 16 years old. Sakura here, I think, is also 16 years old, but she is quite a bit taller right here, man. This figure is just weird. It kind of just doesn't really feel like an SH Figuarts. And bringing back in Nami here as well. Again, scale looks really off here. Yeah, I'm definitely kind of looking forward to seeing how Figma handles this, because again, I just think SH Figuarts didn't know that this show was gonna be like super popular, so they didn't put like a ton of thought, at least into this one. You know, she is kind of just a typical schoolgirl as well, so yeah, maybe they just didn't put a lot of thought into this one. Okurun does look a little bit more impressive, I think. Okurun gives me more SH Figuarts vibes right there, because usually they do a really good job with the shonen battle, the shonen battle queens, but yeah, this one, Let's just say there's a reason I didn't wait to get this to do my top 10 of the year. Alright, but let's continue here and bring in Power right there, and again, scale is off, very off. And let's round it off with my girl Kikudu over here. So there you go. There's how she scales with some other battle shonen ladies. She doesn't. She looks way too tall, way too more built out right there. She should be about the same scale as all these characters, but you can see like Sakura right here. Head is way bigger. The face is way bigger. The thickness of the limbs is way bigger. Hands look about the same size right there. I don't know. Maybe the other faces will look a little better, because all this actually looks fine. The head head. Maybe it's just the art style of the show. That does happen sometimes with like Demon Slayer, My Hero. The art style of the show does kind of clash with the scale and make it look a little bit off there. But you can see all these ladies scale pretty darn well together. But yeah, let's move on. Alright, let's now compare Momo with some other SH Figuarts lines. Here she is with the SH Figuarts Naruto Uzumaki and Sasuke Uchiha. Here she is with Substitute Soul Reaper Ichigo Kurosaki and Renji Abarai. Here she is with SH Figuarts Orochimaru and Itachi, just to remind you that this company is capable of making absolutely incredible action figures. To compare it with some Figma, so maybe you can get a good sense of the scale we're hoping to see from the Figma. And this looks good, like looking at her with Ryuko right here, if she was about the same size as Ryuko, I think she will look a lot better and fit in a lot more with the SHF. So honestly, I am really holding on hope for Figma on this one, man. Which, you know, actually makes me pretty darn happy, because Figma was my favorite back in the day, and then they just kind of disappeared for a while, and I mean, right now, they really only make, like, they make really weird shit right now, but the fact that they're making Dandadan figures is interesting, so I'm looking forward to maybe getting to look forward to more Figma releases finally. I don't know, we'll see what happens with that, but let's jump into the accessories on Momo here, and this is where this figure is actually going to pick up a little bit, but not too much, but this is where I started actually having some fun with this figure. Starting out with the faces, like I said, I don't really like this default face. It's just emotionless. It's just the most, like, bare, basic smile you've ever seen in your life. It looks like Echidna's smile from ReZero Season 2. But let's take a look at the alternate faces. First up, we have a nice closed eye smiling face right here. And this looks really, really, really good. I like this expression right here. She's, again, a very, very cheerful character. So I do like this face right here. But even more so than this one, I like this one. This funny, like, XD face right here. You can even see some tears coming out of her eyes right there. This one is super, super funny. I really, really, really like this one, man. Then we get a nice angry looking to the side face, and I like this, but one of my problems with this figure is that this is the only option you have if you want to get like an action pose face, because this doesn't work at all, and then the other ones are the laughing ones, and then the final one is this funny comedic relief kind of like looking like, you know, it's a fun face. This will be fun to put with Okarun or something like that, but as it stands right now, that is it. Those are all the faces we get. And all of these expressions are good. I like all of these additional expressions, aside from this one, of course. But the problem is, this character is action-oriented. And the only option that you have for action-oriented face is this one right here. This is literally the only option that you have. You don't have a standard stoic face. You don't have a more screaming face. You have this one where she's looking to the side right there. Mouth is only a little bit open. It's not that intense. I don't know, it kind of sucks, honestly. The figure is really fun to pose. It's really fun to, you know what, actually, I'll save this, what I'm about to say here, I'll save that for the end, because that'll be a good way to close out my thoughts on this figure. But I really wish that she had more, like, you know, I wish she had some more faces that would allow you to put her in some more, like, battle type poses right there. Because she does. She gets down, man. She gets her hands dirty when it comes to taking down these fucking ghosts and aliens. She's a very, very cool character. And she's very funny as well, which is why I like these other faces right here. But I really needed the other side as well. And again, that one just ain't doing it for me. So I would have preferred, like, a stoic one over this one. Like, the smile just, I don't know, it's so doughy and weird looking. But let's move on to the hands. So as I already showed, you have those like fun hands right there, and we do get a pair of fisted hands in the packaging right here, which is super duper nice. We get a pair of splayed out hands, which these are really, really fun. I really like the hands. We're going to talk about this a little bit in a second here, but I just want to show them all real quick. Okay, all except for these hands. I don't really know why these are included. They're like gripping hands. They kind of look like they can hold something, but you don't have anything to hold. So yeah, I don't know what these are for. You get these karate chop hands with these, which these are fun. I like these hands a lot. I've been having a lot of fun with these. These are probably the best hands to use for battle poses. But the best hands that she comes with is a pointing hand for this side. You only get one, and a peace sign for this side right here. And that'll do it for the hands. And that'll do it for the accessories. Yep, that's all she comes with. Yep, that's it. No psychic power effects, no turbo granny. That's it. That's all she comes with. But I will say, I have been having a lot of fun posing her around in fun poses. I actually have. So to change off her face right here, you just need to grab the little tuft of hair right here, pop that out. That's the only thing that pops out right there. Then pop out the face right there. And it's a little bit weird. You can see you got like a tab at the top and then two little peg holes right there at the bottom. Grab whichever face you want. We'll do this one because it's my favorite. You just plug that in. It goes on very, very nice and snug, and then pop the tuft of hair back in right there. And then you have that. See, this right here, this is amazing. This face right here is phenomenal. This absolutely captures the character's personality. It's super duper fun. I don't think I'll ever use this face ever again, honestly. This one is super duper fun right there. And then also I like this one as well. Like, these faces that they included, aside from the default one, are good. I just needed more. I would like it if they could maybe do an accessory pack in the future for this show and maybe give her some more faces. But on the other hand, I'm kind of more just kind of looking forward to maybe seeing what Figma does with this character. Because after looking at those size comparisons, that scale is also very, very off. Although I will say that wasn't really bugging me until I looked at it. So, like, when I had her on my shelf, I was like, hey, she looks good up there. I don't know. Well, we'll get to my final thoughts at the end of the video. It's going to be kind of complicated. But yeah, that's how you change out her face. And then for the hands, I actually really like changing out her hands because her ball joints feel nice and sturdy. They don't feel like they're going to break at all. And they go on nice and tight right there. I really, really like it. And now let me show you why I actually do like this figure, why I started this video the way I do, and why I'm going to end it the way I am. This figure can make some really fun and expressive poses. Like, this looks really, really fun. And her joints, actually, it's very satisfying to get her in poses like this. This is what I have been doing with this figure, is just getting her in these goofy, like, slice of life kind of poses. Like, these are super cute. Here's another one. Super fun, super expressive. The accessories for this figure are very, very basic, but they are very, very fun to play with. And if you do want to get her in action poses, just pop on this face right here, get that on right there, give her a fist or a karate chop hand, and you can actually get some pretty good looking poses. This captures the attitude of the character when she's like getting ready to fight right there. Like, this looks pretty darn good. Like, I'm gonna say it in a second here, but I don't think this figure is absolutely terrible. But yeah, see, this looks good right here. If you want to have her doing a kick pose, it's not gonna be Naruto level, but you know, it's not absolutely horrible. I mean, it's not the best, obviously, but you know, that articulation, man, you can actually get a decent amount. Like, it's like she can get, like, the start of action poses, but she can't really get the actual, like, okay, look, so she can do stuff like this. She can do these fun poses where she looks badass, like, standing there on your shelf, but she can't do stuff like this. This is the Kurama Link mode Naruto. She can't do stuff like this. She can't get into these, like, super dynamic poses right there. She can pull off some decent looking, like, getting ready for battle poses, but she can't really pull off the actual battle poses. And that's pretty much all there is to say about this, so let's jump into the final thoughts. This is going to be an interesting one. Alrighty, so final thoughts on the SH Figuarts Momo Ayase. Honestly, guys, I don't hate this figure, and while recording this review, I was actually, like, finding myself, like, I can come up with a lot of flaws with this figure. I absolutely can. And I definitely don't think it's worth the full retail price. And I don't think SH Figuarts tried with this as much as a lot of other stuff, even as much as the Okuran. Like, the Okuran looks a lot more along the lines of their usual quality than this. The plastic quality is good, but it's weird. It doesn't really feel like a typical SH Figuarts. It doesn't even really feel... So it has that limited torso articulation that stuff like Sun Raku and the Kaiju number 8 figures have had recently, but it doesn't feel the same as this. It doesn't feel that same kind of plastic. It feels like there actually might be something in there, but it's just totally covered up by this super duper hard plastic that they made this dress out of. And again, it just doesn't really feel that much like an SH Figuarts. And I wouldn't exactly say it feels like a Figma either. I don't know, it's weird. It kind of reminds me of the Freerin a little bit, but obviously a much bigger scale. That's another problem as well. Scale looks weird. She's supposed to be a 16-year-old high school girl, and you can see she's almost about the same size as Sun Raku here. Actually, she is probably about the same size as Sun Raku. He's in a mask right now, so yeah. I don't know, the scale's weird, the design is weird, the articulation is weird, everything about this figure is just kind of weird and doesn't really feel like what you would expect from SH Figuarts. But it's still kind of fun. It's still kind of fun to pose, and I do like the alternate faces that they do include, but I definitely wish that they had included more. Like, the alternate faces are good, but I needed more action decisions, because when it comes to action poses, which again, this character does do a lot of action, this is the only face you have. This is literally the only option you have, looking to the side with only a little bit of a yell. You don't have a super intense face. Something like this nice teeth gritted face for Kikaru right here. Like, this is a perfect example, actually. She comes with a default stern face, this teeth gritted face, and an open yelling face right here. This figure only comes with this one face right here. So, I don't know, it just feels a little bit lackluster. And again, psychic particle effects would have been definitely pretty darn cool. There's definitely a lot they could have done. I would have loved a little turbo granny to put with her or something like that. Like, there was definitely more they could have done with this. It doesn't feel like they tried that hard with this figure. But I'm still having some fun posing it around. It's a fun figure to just kind of put in some, you know, goofy, fun poses. And again, she can kind of pull off these decent, like, getting ready for action poses right here. She just really can't pull off those, like, super dynamic ones right here. So let's get into the final, like, rating here. Do I think this figure is great? Definitely not by any means. It is only like $50 or like $60, so yeah, you know, it's a good bit cheaper than what the Figma will probably be. Figma will most likely be $90 to $100, so it'll be a good bit more expensive than this. But is it worth it? If you want a Momo and you don't want to wait for the Figma, is this worth getting? I don't know, honestly. I really do think the Figma will probably top this. Like, there's a lot that's left to be desired here with this release. So yeah, I'd probably just say wait for the Figma, wait to see how the Figma comes out, because the Okarun looks really, really, really cool. Like I said, I think the Figma Okarun looks a lot better than the SH Figuarts. Maybe not a lot better, but I think it looks better. I do. I think the accessories look better. I think the design of the figure looks better. So yeah, I really am probably gonna put my eggs in Figma's basket this time, as opposed to SH Figuarts, which honestly I'm okay with that, because I used to be a Figma fanboy, so it'll be fun getting to give them another go here, letting them show what they can do in recent years after the kind of last couple years where they have done absolutely nothing or delivered some really, really poor stuff as well. So yeah, am I disappointed in this figure? A little bit. Not. It's still fun though. I'm still having fun with it, man. Like, I enjoy posing figures, and I enjoy doing all the different kind of poses. I enjoy doing the slice of life poses, and I enjoy doing the action poses, and you know, I'm still having some fun with this figure, but definitely not perfect. Definitely could have been a lot better, and definitely wish it was a lot better. So yeah, not the strongest showing from SH Figuarts, but this figure definitely still has some charm. I'd say I like this figure more than I like Fern. So I will hit the SH Figuarts Momo Ayase. Honestly, I kind of want to stop doing grades. I don't really feel like they're all that useful. 90% of the times I just give things S's and S pluses, so I kind of want to do with grades in general. But I don't know. Yeah, you know what? Let's just do away with grades. I just don't really feel it anymore. I don't really think it's helping anybody. I said my piece. I definitely think this is not the strongest showing from SH Figuarts, but I think this figure still has some charm, and I'm personally not dissatisfied with it. Like, I would have liked it to be better, but I'm gonna put it in my collection, and it'll be my Momo until we see what Figma has to offer. So, there you have it. Thank you all so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, maybe give me a like, subscribe for some more anime action figure reviews in the future, and let me know your thoughts on this if you got it in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about, like, the weird, like, how this figure looks, feels, like, super different from your typical SH Figuarts and all that. Just leave me all that down in the comments. I'd love to have some conversations about it with y'all, but thank you all so much for watching the video, and this is DK Guillotine. Signing out. Rocket Engine Dolph.